keep that in mind. All right, we should be good to go. So I will formally introduce myself. My name is Madison Johnson, and I am the person who's been emailing you over the past few months. I am the Nebraska Passport Program Coordinator with Visit Nebraska, and I'm very excited to have you all here today. I was saying a little bit earlier that usually I do this at NAT in Lincoln, and so I just stare into a camera. And this way is way better because I get to actually see some of your faces before I go and visit your shops and get to actually meet you in person. Um, so I'm gonna share my screen and get this going. So throughout the presentation, I will ask you guys all to mute yourselves purely just because of courtesy of Zoom. I can mute you as well, which I probably will right now, actually. There we go. Yes, so you're all muted now, but you can unmute yourself if you have questions, or if you have questions, you can put them in the chat and I'll get to them at the end. I want this to be a little bit more conversational just purely because we all are going to be kind of working together. So feel free to kind of, raise your hand and get, hey, that didn't make sense or whatever. So yes.
Madison, the chat has been disabled, by the way.
Oh, it does. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. Let's see if I can figure out how to, there we go. All right, try that now. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know that. All right, so without further ado, thank you for coming to the 2021 Nebraska Passport Stop training. I just redid this PowerPoint, so if there's some flips, just let it slide. So a little introduction. Who is Nebraska Tourism? So our office is located in downtown Lincoln, about a block from the state capitol building. If you've ever been to downtown Lincoln, it's there's that line of state offices. We're in the big state office building. This is an old picture of our office from Christmas of 2019, I assume. It's a while ago. I had much longer hair then. But this is our director right here. His name is John Ricks. If you've never met him, he's a really great guy. He's will help you just about anything. He's also kind of weird and quirky. So yeah, it's hard to get him off the phone sometimes. So just be aware of that. And then our deputy director is right here. Her name is Heather. She is really great. She's the one that handles all the grants. So if you've ever reached out with grant proposal questions or anything like that, she is your go-to gal. She's been with Nebraska Tourism for a really long time, and she's awesome. And then the other person I'll introduce right here is Jen Jurdy. She's our marketing manager. So she is the one that is kind of oversees all of the PR with Nebraska Tourism. So the website, all that other good stuff. And that is her baby Ruby, who is now, I think, like almost a year with you. And the only other last person I will talk about, because she might be emailing you, is Erin. She's the one on the left-hand side at the bottom of the screen sitting next to me. She is our public information officer, and so she is the primary person in charge of our website and then does a lot of the hands-on stuff with our Facebook and Instagram and those kind of things. And she oversees our interns who do a lot of that as well. So she will probably be reaching out to you. So if an Erin Lenz emails you, just don't be afraid. That's who it is. So again, our office is open 8 to 5, every weekday. It was all through COVID. It will be all through now. It's a state mandate. So we're actually not allowed to close in between those hours. So if you have a question, someone should be there able to ask. Most of us, we're doing an at-home schedule of working from home. I've been working from home for a year now, and I go in every Tuesday. So the best day to get a hold of me is Tuesday because that's usually when I'm most hands-on with answering and those types of things, answering my phone. And then Shirley is this sweet lady right here. She is our executive assistant, so she is the main person when you call. She'll be the one to answer the phone. So that is the direct line to her. It's our main office number. That's what's going to be on our website and all that. And then my desk cell number, or my desk number, is this one right here, and then my cell is down below. So feel free to leave me a message. I always listen to those and get back to people. So, all right. So, first things first, you should be expecting 2 shipments here within the next week, 2 weeks or so. I'm hoping to send out the first shipment here by the end of the week, or at the very beginning of next week. This one will include a big countersign, 2 window decals, 3 stamps, and an ink bottle. So the countersign just is hopefully going to go somewhere that is open to the public. So think the front desk, maybe in your front window. If you don't have a formal front desk area, a checkout counter is always a good option. A host stand at a restaurant. Um, any time that you're going to be really, people are going to open or come into the front door and see that sign because they want to know where they can get the stamp, so they're not kind of wandering around wondering where people are at. The window decal, so there's 2 of them, uh, purely because sometimes they fade throughout the summer and they look a little ratty, so you can just get a second one. Or maybe you have a really, really big front window and you want to put 2 up, there's going to be 2 in that package. We also include 3 different stamps. So your stamper will have your unique um, icon on it. So depending on what tour your stop is in, it's going to have a specific icon, and then there's going to be a number associated with your stop. So if you are the first stop in the Aromatherapy Tour, which I believe is Clean Slate Soap and Beatrice, you're going to have the number 1 on your icon. That way, it just kind of alleviates cheating. I don't think many people do cheat. And if they do, I'm not too worried about it. But it is just a way for us to kind of say, like, there is this safeguard in place just in case someone decides to steal a stamp and just stamp every tour or first stop in their tour. The second shipment you will be receiving is 100 booklets, or maybe 200 booklets. I can't remember what I told you, Anel, um, of the actual physical passport booklet. So this is going to be really important because, especially once the program kicks off, you're going to get a lot of people who come in kind of just to pick up their booklet. That's kind of how we promote it. So we say that you can get a booklet at any of the 70 stops or on our passport website. And those are really the only 2 ways people can get booklet, unless your local CVB or local chamber has a stash. Which, again, if anyone on this call is from a local chamber, reach out to me. I'll give you some. Um, so these booklets could be in eyesight and be pretty easy to use and pretty easy to get to. I kind of want you to give them out like candy. That's really how this program gets going. Um, so, don't put them in bags when people are checking out. So like if you are like, "Oh, we have a free goodie, here you go." Just, give it to someone after you've maybe talked to them about it a little bit. And again, you'll get about 25 people who come in specifically looking for their booklets at the very beginning of the program. Depending where you're at in the state, that number may fluctuate. But this is what the cover of the booklet's going to look like this year. If you can't tell, we're doing a hot air balloon theme this year. So kind of fun. I wanted to do something colorful because of the last year we had. So this program is extremely popular. If you weren't aware, we print 50,000 booklets each year. We printed 53,000 this year, because we're hoping to do some drops in Kansas City and Denver and Sioux City and other kind of nearby areas of population. So this actually is kind of an old number. I think we have 23,000 booklets that have already been requested on our website. So that means that 23,000 people, or you know, have requested that many booklets. So one person can request several, but that is how many is going off in our first shipment. So it's already extremely popular this year. This number is about 5,000 more than it was last year, which obviously last year was COVID, so people were a little bit like, "What's going to go on?" But just so you know, we're really excited about it. So you are the lucky chosen of the about 300 applications that I received. So congratulations to all of you. I am very excited. I do actually handpick them. I'm the one that reads all the applications, and I'm the one that goes through and really tries to decide the program. I obviously have to get it okayed by everyone else, but it is pretty much me. So again, congratulations. So you were chosen because you offer a unique experience, or it's something that I thought the passport participants would really enjoy. I'm hoping you'll be a really good local tourism ambassador. And then I do design the passport so it benefits everyone so that everyone from all ages, all backgrounds can really enjoy the program. So 2020 was actually a record-breaking year. We had 1,185 participants make it to all 70 stops. This year, I'm anticipating that number being closer to 1,300, if not 1,400 people making it to all 70. It has climbed up at about the pace of 200 people a year to get 70. So that's really awesome. Last year, in total, from what stops reported to me and the digital app, we had about 154,000 stamps collected. The average person competing in the Nebraska Passport Program got 23 stamps. So that means that if you are, if you yourself just want to do the passport program, which I encourage you to, and you are more than welcome to do so, um, there is a chance that you got 23 stamps last year, which is really awesome. I'm really proud of that number. I think that really just shows how dedicated our participants are and how much they love the program. And then prize entry sheets, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We had about 6,700 turned into our office, which is quite a bit and is a large undertaking, but again, I'll go into that. Economic impact at the end of 2019. This is fun numbers. We did a big economic impact study, which was our participants filled out this big survey. And basically it just said that 23.7 million was made in traveler spending due to the 2019 passport program and 1.9 million in state and local tax revenue. So the overall goal of this program is to help all of you as well as to help your communities. So we want people to stay the night. We want people to buy gas. We want people to eat dinner. We want people to do the things that, we want them to travel throughout the state and to spend money. It is not a requirement for them to purchase something at your location, which again, I will talk about later. But again, that's the overall goal of the program. So these are some fun little marketing phrases. The person before me made these, so I don't love them, but it's a good way to kind of go about looking at it. So we like to say that we are discovering Nebraska's hidden gems in our marketing for the passport. There are a few different passports in the state. So there's the most popular one is the Wine and Grape Growers Association passport. So if you are a member of the Wine and Grape Growers Association, you're probably a part of it or at least have heard of it in the past. So that is a passport specifically dedicated to wineries, tasting rooms. I'm not sure what else is featured on there, but that's a really popular program as well. And some people will do it in tandem with this program, which I am completely okay with and actually like to advocate because, again, I like to support local tourism. But our passport program has a wide variety of experiences. So we say it's easy. There's not a ton of barrier of entry for people. We just want them to be able to walk in, get a stamp, shop around, leave. It's super fun. People like the uniqueness of the stops. They like to meet all of you. And then 914 people made it to all 70 or in 2019, and we had again the 1,185 last year. And then of course it's cost friendly, so there's no purchase necessary to participate. And you guys, several of you, don't charge admission. So if you're like a retail store or a restaurant, obviously you're not charging admission for someone to walk into your store. But again, I'll cover the cost part later. So about participants. So this is an average breakdown of kind of what our participants look like. So a majority of our participants are young families. So think your couple with kids about the age of 4 to 14. That's usually a pretty good age demographic for the children that are on this program. And then your retired folks. So those are the big majority of the people who do the program. So that's who you're going to see. But then, of course, we're trying to do some more marketing to the people a little bit older or a little bit younger, but people are busy, especially people with really young kids. They're not able to travel as much. And then obviously the college age and high school folks aren't able to do that so much on their own either. But that's just a breakdown of what they will look like. So 74% of the people that participated in 2019 did not do, or 2020 did not do the program in 2019. So that's also a really good number. We like to see that number of just the passport getting into new people's hands. And then most people learn about the program from a friend or family member. And then in total, we have had, or actually, this is in 2020, we had 448 different Nebraska communities represented in 37 states. So there's people from all over who are going to be coming into your place. A lot of people from Arizona do this program, which is random, but I know a lot of people, winter in Arizona here in Nebraska. But that's just a fun thing too. So again, it's not just going to be Nebraskans who are coming in. So why do people participate? To discover hidden gems, to enjoy Nebraska scenery, to learn about history, to support businesses, to spend time with family and friends, and to the competition or game aspect of stamps. So stop benefits. Um, People have reported up of 200% of a traffic increase for being a passport stop. Some people have reported $25,000 in sales, and as well as a significant increase in awareness among target markets. So if you're big on social media, if you love to have people follow your Facebook page, this is a really good way to just to get people to like it. I will be encouraging you to have something like us on Facebook, and people will do that. If most of you maybe have noticed that I personally follow several of you on Facebook, and my goal is to follow everyone on the program on Facebook and or Instagram. But again, those are just some fun stop benefits that you can hopefully experience. So these are a list of stop benefits in order of most reported. So these are what stops have told us in the past. So Passport helped market my destination to family and friends. So that is the biggest thing. So I cannot reiterate this enough, that if someone comes into your store and they do not purchase something, that does not mean that they're never going to come back and they're not going to tell their friends about it. So you may get frustrated every once in a while on people not purchasing something. I would say definitely a majority of people are going to purchase something, but there are going to be a handful that don't. It's kind of just the way that it goes. But again, if you are a kids featured destination, and this is an older couple that doesn't have any kids, well, they probably have grandkids or great nieces and nephews or something like that they're going to tell about. So they said passport visitors had returned to my destination. Local tourism destinations reported being positively impacted by the passport program. They liked the publicity they received from newspapers, radios, and TV, social media followers, uh, people. You can get contact information from passport participants when they come in. Dining establishments reported being impacted. New partnerships with local businesses. So one thing about being on the passport is I really want you guys to try to reach out to your local CVBs or chambers if you're not interacted with them in general, and also us. So one really great thing about you being on the program is that you get more. Um, we get to know you more as Visit Nebraska. We get to see you. So then there's a higher chance of us promoting you on our website and our social media and that kind of stuff too. So that's just a really good thing. I want to see you guys around. I don't want you to be on the passport and then I never hear from you again. Um, Again, built new partnerships, and then local gas stations, retail stores, event centers, and other things positive impact. So 2021 goals. Um, my goal is always to have 100% positive experience from people. Uh, I don't I don't like the calls that I receive of people complaining. I know some people complain just to complain. I get it. I'm used to it. Um, but obviously, I want you to treat everyone the way that um, I would expect. I want you to treat everyone with kindness. I don't have any doubts about any of you, but we shall see. Um, I want increased participation from last year. So, like I said, the number of people um, in from year to year who get 70 increases by about 200. So I expect that to happen again. And then again, economic impact, which I have talked about. So what do you need to do? So greeting people, being nice to them, asking them about how they feel about participating on the program. What's been your favorite stop so far? Where did you just come from? Where are you going next? How many do you plan on getting? Um, those are just very simple things to get people really engaged. And passport participants love talking about the passport, especially people who have done the passport for years. Um, you will see several people who will come in with their passport champion t-shirts from previous years, which means that they got all 70 stops. and ask them about it. Say, oh my gosh, how many times have you gotten all 70? Or when how many times you've gotten all 70? Or how long have you been doing the program? How many are you planning on getting? People love to talk about it. And then one really big thing, so it's one prize entry sheet per person. So think about, a couple that comes in there, each person should have their own booklet, and then each person has their own prize entry sheet. So I'll show you here in a second of where you're going to stamp in these booklets, but you cannot stamp for someone who is not there. So if a little sweet old lady comes in and goes, "Oh, my husband couldn't make it out to Chadron with me today. Can I get their stamp?" Unfortunately, they cannot. However, there is, some exceptions to this rule. I have had times where a mom has come in at the end of the day and get, "Hi, like my 2-year-old is sleeping in the car. Can you just stamp their booklet? Because I don't want to wake them up." That is obviously okay. Use your discretion. You can kind of tell if people are trying to, play the game a little bit or not. But just generally, people can't bring in a bunch of booklets and go, "Stamp them all, please." That's just not really the way it works. So with COVID, basically, we don't know what's going to happen, right? This program did go on last year and it was very successful last year. Our participants are really respectful of the rules that you guys have set in place and will set in place. You are more than welcome to require masks, to require social distancing, and all of those things. Again, please follow any and all state and local guidelines. Those are changing day to day, so I know it's hard to keep up. So I'm not going to be a stickler about it, but just be respectful of what people want to do. If someone, if people want to wear masks, that is great. However, if you are a store that requires masks and someone is not wearing one, you can enforce that. I'm okay with that. But yeah, so just be flexible. I know we're all used to it at this point now, but I just needed to have that slide on there just to kind of reiterate that I'm okay with whatever you guys need to do. All right, so where to stamp? So these are actually taken from this year's booklet. So again, so if you are the Vault in Baird, I'm not sure if she's on here this morning or not, but um, this is what your little section is going to look like. So each of you are going to have a little square, and this is in the physical booklet itself. So you're going to stamp right here with your stamp. I will just ask, don't stamp over the words, don't stamp over your picture. Take some time to actually stamp in the real place. I've had people who've been like, just kind of disappointed that they, if they just didn't take the time to look at my booklet, they just kind of stamped it like I was, going on an airplane. So just, take the time, make it look decent. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not too picky, but just so you know, that is where you're supposed to stamp. So you're going to stamp in the physical booklet itself, and you're also going to stamp on this. This is the prize entry sheet. This is a fold out piece of paper in the back of the booklet. And again, each of you have a little section. So if you are Fat Brain Toys in Omaha, you're going to stamp just right next to your name. And each of you also have a number. So if you do not know where you're at, just look at numbers. It's all in alphabetical by town on the prize entry sheet. Most of them are in alphabetical by town just because that's the way that it's easiest for participants to plan their travels. So just be aware of that. When you get the booklets, really familiarize yourself with them. Find what page you're on. Um, the booklet is organized by, there's a table of contents on the inter side where the map is, but then they're also organized by alphabetical by tour name. So depending on what tour you are in, I'll go over the tours here in a sec, but you're going to be, so obviously the visual treats tour, that is the last tour in the booklet. You're going to be towards the end. So just know what page number you're on, just familiarize yourself with it. There's also rules and regulations in the back. Skim through those, just get comfortable with the booklet so that way if people ask questions, you can answer them. I have a question. Yes. So this is from Caleb. It says, I'm assuming you will be surveying us in September about our experiences. What can we do to better record increased sales patrons for you? We can, or can you send us questions in advance so we know what you're tracking? Uh, yes. So I will cover that here in a second. um, be talking about gathering participant information. But generally, what's going to happen? So, this program is a pretty difficult program to track in terms of participation if people do not use the digital stamp. And again, I'll get to those in a minute. But what I'm going to ask of you is to take a tally of people that come in the door. You can do that several ways. You can do it by using a clicker if you want to do something really simple. You can have them sign their name. You can just literally get a sticky note and just tally each day and just count that up. And at the end of the month, I will be emailing you, sending you the digital stamp numbers, and then I would love it if you could send me back the physical stamp numbers that you received. You also, I encourage you to keep track of sales. So, how many passport related sales you had. That's good numbers for us to know because we want to make sure that this is a program that's benefiting all of you. And also, it's just kind of fun to go, oh man, it's a passport program made me $2,000 this year or this month, something like that. But I think I do cover that here in a sec. Let's see if I can go to the next page. Okay. So, about stop categories. So, these are all the icons for each of the tours. And again, like I said, each of you have a unique stamp with a unique number on it. And then some of you do fit into several categories. So there is an entire tour, which is this one right here. It's called Parking Spots. It's dedicated to the Nebraska Game and Parks 100th anniversary. Smith Falls State Park is not on this tour. It is actually on the Sounds tour because I think of the sounds of waterfall. Um, so several of you will fit into different categories. And if you don't understand why you're in a category, I'm going to briefly go over them. They're kind of just silly and goofy. They're not supposed to be something like, well, I'm just this category. It's just supposed to be a fun way to introduce it. It's just interesting. So this first one right here is called Grub and Cuisine. This is the food category. We always have a food category. So if you're a restaurant, there's a decent chance they're on this one. This tour right here is called Now Hear This. This one is um, supposed to just remind you of sounds. So I called it the Sounds Tour when I was designing the program because it's things like Buffalo Records in Kearney. I don't know if you're on here, or Screamers Restaurant in Lincoln. They have singing hostess. So just think of sounds. Also, I think Smith Falls State Park is what I said is on this one. So sounds of that. Or Goody Pop in York. I believe you are on this program because you hear the sounds of popping popcorn. It's just silly. This one right here is Shoptimum Values. That's the shopping tour, so retail stores. This one right here is called Time Travel. This is our history tour. So if you're a historic destination, um, or if you are a museum or something, there's a good chance you're on that one. This guy right here is the Aromatherapy Tour. So this one is smells. So this one is anything from Clean Slate Soap and Beatrice to Smoking Gun Jerky in Lincoln. So when you walk into Smoking Gun Jerky in Lincoln, it smells like jerky in there and it's great. So I put them on the smells tour. I already went over parking spots. This one right here is branching out. This is the 150th anniversary of Arbor Day um, tour. So some of you also might be confused why you're on this tour because the Cedar Room in North Platte and Cottonwood Gallery in Aurora are on this because they have tree related names. And I thought it was fun to throw not just trees on it, but things with tree related names. This one in the center is called Childish Things. This is the kids tour. So if you're a children's museum, toy store, candy shop, things that kids will enjoy. I'm having a kids prize this year, so I wanted to highlight kids. They love what they have their own tour. This guy right here is Visual Treats. This is kind of the public art tour. So Chadron Art Alley. I know I saw you on here earlier. You're on this guy. The Nebraska City Historic Murals is on this, as well as Blackbird Hill Studio and Macy's. So it's just, again, a good variety. And then Growth Opportunities is our kind of agritourism focused tour. So this is wineries, produce stands, that kind of thing. So that is a quick overview of each tour. Again, if you're confused why you're in a tour, just email me. I can explain it to you. And again, it's not a big deal what tour you're in. It's just fun. And again, yeah, it's more for just marketing purposes. Most people just try to hit as many stops as they can So which tour you're in really has um, no impact on how many people are going to visit you. So I'm so sorry. That is my dog. So again, like I said, only stamp booklets for people who are present. Um, and in the booklet, this is outlined. So I will say, anytime someone tries to kind of fight you on a rule, just refer them to the back of the booklet. Most of the rules, I mean, this program is 12 years old. We've kind of ironed out those rules like nobody's business. So refer them to the back of the booklet. And if they have a problem with what's written in the back of the booklet, refer them to me directly. I am happy to field their questions. It's not your job to sit and try to barter with people about the rules of the program. Send them my way. Tell them to call the state tourism office. Give them my name. 9 times out of 10, they won't call me because they just want to gripe about it. And if they do, I'm happy to talk them off the ledge if that's where they're at. So, um, just yes, just don't argue with them if they have a problem. Just send them to me. It's not worth your time. It really isn't. So it is Nebraska state law that prohibits you from charging anything to the participants in order to receive a stamp. So if you are a museum and someone walks in, they have to get a stamp, even if they don't go to the museum. They are not required to pay anything. If you're a restaurant and maybe they ate somewhere else, maybe they're trying to save money and they went to McDonald's on the way there. Um, you still have to stamp their booklet. You cannot trade a stamp for money. Just so you know, that is very important. That is also in the back of the booklet. So again, if you have specific questions about that, let me know. Okay, so the Nebraska Passport app. So the app is really, really great. It is really helpful for all of you, and it is really helpful for me, and it is really helpful for the participants. So the Nebraska Passport app is available on the Apple and Android stores. So all of you can download it right now if you really want to. Um, there is an FAQ section just like in the booklet. So again, if someone comes in using the app, the rules are the same in the app as they are in the booklet. It works with location services. So if maybe you are Smith Falls State Park, I know that there's not great service up there because I've been there and they were on a few years ago and we had this issue. But it does not go off of service, it goes off of their location services. So their GPS basically. So even if they don't have service, there should still be allowed to get a stamp. It does have a map. So the whole app, if you can see right here, has a map. You can zoom in, click on one of the icons, and then it'll take you to GPS and Google or Apple Maps to basically just direct you there. That's what I use every time I'm traveling. I use the app just for my GPS because it's way easier. And then I do send out notifications. So this is a big one. If you guys are closed, or if maybe for whatever reason the road in front of your store is being worked on, construction, or maybe you need to go away for the weekend. Maybe you have a wedding outside of state and you need to close your shop for a weekend. That is totally fine. Please let me know that as soon as possible. And I will send out a notification over the app as well as post it on our website, because the easiest thing for me to do is to let as many participants know as possible to alleviate as many as the headaches as possible. So participants get their own stamps in the app. So this is what the main page of each of you will look like. So the Burkholder Project is in the Haymarket of Lincoln. When someone comes up to the Burkholder Project, they will have the GPS will notice that they're nearby, and then they just sit here and they push, see where it says stamp, they just click that, and then it'll say stamped and have a little check mark. This also leads to your phone number, website, and the map that shows, and this is also where you get to the GPS, and it's lovely. You don't have to worry about anything. And again, if you have any problems, call me. So the thing about the app is it allows people to get stamps 24/7. So even if you're closed, they can get a stamp. I know that can seem kind of weird to some people. I know that may seem like we are encouraging people to not go into the businesses to get a stamp. but that is not what we have seen through the past. I believe we've had the app for about 4 years now. Generally, the app is super simple for you because it does alleviate people who just want to get a stamp and leave. So say it's a really busy Saturday and you have a restaurant and you're having a ton of people, you got all your tables full, your servers are walking around like crazy, and you have 7 or 8 people every, you know, 2 hours or so coming in trying to just get a stamp and leave. And they're like, we don't need to eat here. If they have the app, they can just stamp outside or they can go inside, stamp, and then leave. Um, and that just alleviates some issues for you guys. So it has its ups and downs. It's not a perfect system, but generally it is better for everybody. Because if someone comes in, just gets their stamp and leaves, it can be frustrating. And I understand that. I actually, so um, fun fact for all of you, I should have mentioned this. I actually worked at a passport stop back in 2015. So I have been in your shoes before. Um, I worked at Stagecoach Mall and Gifts in Fairbury, which is where I'm from. So they were on the program in 2015. So I know what it's like to have some of these issues. So I have a few questions. So I'm going to stop real quick and read them. Yes, so that's a good question. So it says the app on the App Store says Nebraska Passport 2020. Is there an updated version? Yes. So the app is going to launch the update on May 1st, which is the first day of the program. Um, that happens every year. Our participants are fairly used to it. So if you download the 2020 app right now, it will update automatically to the 2021 version on May 1st. And is anyone else having an issue with my audio? Anybody? Anybody? No? Okay. Well, then hopefully we can get that figured out. Let's see what's going on. So yes, so with the app, if you're a participant, you do need to create um, your own profile. So you can log in through Google, or you just create your own email once that launches. But you're gonna have to do it once once the app updates. So you don't need to worry about that now. But that is only for participants. So if you are you don't need to create an app account if you're just a stop. That's a good question. Okay, so, oh, that's wrong. Update will be available May 1st, so I apologize. And then again, simply search 2020 Passport app in your app store right now, and then 2021 once the app. Okay, so like I said, 24 hours, 7 days a week, people can get stamps. Um, So the alternative for the app, so the reason we had this issue is losing participation was one of, or inconvenient hours was the number one complaint we have from people, and that is why we were losing participation. So we created the app in order to kind of alleviate some of those issues. So an alternative was that we would need all of you to be open 7 days a week. And in that case, several of you, almost all of you, would probably not be on this call right now. So again, it doesn't mean that they're not going to come back at a time that you may be open. So if you're not open on Mondays, people can still drive by, get a stamp on that Monday. That doesn't mean that when they're driving back through town a few weeks later, they're not going to stop by. Um, so when you guys filled out that marketing survey, I had you do your GPS coordinates. So I went in and double checked all of those and adjusted them if they needed adjusting. So if there's a few kinks once the app starts and once the program begins, just let me know and I can fix it. I can also fix the radius of how far the app goes out. So it's like one tiny pinpoint, and then there's a radius of so many feet. So if you're a state park or a larger destination, I made that radius really big. So regardless of where you are in the area, you can still hopefully get a stamp. Whereas if you are a restaurant or a retail shop or something, that's going to be a lot smaller. So the other fun thing about the app is we have trivia. So some of you did some fun trivia questions. Those are going to pop up once people get stamps on the app. They're totally for fun. They're just silly. I have fun creating the wrong answers. But again, those will show up there. It's just kind of a cute little thing. People really enjoy them. And then that also gets a good talking point for you. So if someone sits there and goes, "Oh, what was the answer to the trivia question was this, and I hadn't expected that," that's a fun thing for you to do too. All right, the other way people can get stamps are through selfies. So, say that there's an older couple who is not comfortable using an app, they can take a picture of themselves outside of your location and submit that on our website, or print that off and submit it to us at the end of the program. All those instructions are in the booklet. Participants are super comfortable with this concept. But again, this is just to alleviate as much of the headache as physically possible. I want to make getting a stamp as easy as I can. Um, and so selfies are just another thing people can do. So some long-term benefits. So here's what I was going to say. You are more than welcome to gather participant names and email addresses, phone numbers, mailing address, is it anything like that? You can do a guest book, or you can do like an iPad or something where people can write down their information, and you can. It's great. You can do social media. You can, if you do a lot of like email newsletters or email chains, you can include them on that. Make sure you get their permission for that. Say like, do you want to opt in to our newsletter? Check, that kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely welcome to do that. It's really fun for participants too to see who's come in and where they're from. So if you say like, oh, I'm Madison Johnson and I live in Ashland, Nebraska, it's fun to be like, oh, that person now that person was right there. Or, like, oh my gosh, someone from Colorado was in here yesterday. It's fun for you. It's fun for them. It's just a good time. Good time. So I definitely suggest doing that. So that is also a long-term benefit of the program for you too, just that to increase those marketing efforts that you might have. And then you can turn it into a prize drawing. So say like, oh, well, at the end of the season, I'll give someone a $50 gift card for, the hundreds of people that signed the booklet. So that's a thing you can do as well. So yes, so you can use this information to talk about special events that you're having, sales. Holidays are a big one. I know a lot of people do big things for the holidays, like Sugar Shack candles. I don't know if you're on here, but I know you do a really big thing for the holiday season. Um, and so that's really nice too. So you can send them things like that to hopefully get them to return to your store or your destination, and then bring their family and friends as well. So you can give them coupons at the time of their visit. So I know a lot of you did the special deal that's in the booklet. That is a great thing. So if you have not decided what your special deal is, 15% off, 10% off of your purchase is always a really great one. People are so much more inclined to spend money if they just think they're going to save some, which I mean, I'm that way too. I'd be like, well, it's on sale, so I don't want to lose money, that kind of thing. Or, buy 2 tours, get one free, or, kids get a free soft drink or something like that. So a visitor experience. So these are going to be a few things that you can do to kind of add some fun. So, you know, our most popular flavor of ice cream is blank, and our ice cream is special because blank. Or describe your special discount or deal to people, so when they walk in, go, oh, remember, you get 10% off your purchase today, or remember, you're gonna get this, whatever. Get them excited about your store, talk to them about your favorite thing on the menu, point out interesting displays, all that good stuff. People really like making them feel special. Passport participants are so enthusiastic. If you do something specifically for them, they eat it up. So these are some examples. So go above and beyond. So think something like a 5-minute behind the scenes tour. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you are. If you're like, hey, you want to see our, I don't know, our storage room, people would love that. You can do small little art or education projects. So maybe do a specialized thing for passport people. So right here, this is from Stagecoach Gifts in Kearney back in 2019. They did all of these in store and gave them to participants who came in the door, which is just amazing. If you know Gary and Skylar in Carney. They're very, very sweet and generous people. So this is something that people have talked about forever and they love it. Um, Another thing, this right here, this is from Aqua Pop and Wayne. They made Passport popcorn mix. This gal right here. She's done the Passport for several years, and I love her kids. I see them grow up. It's very fun. But she, of course, had to buy the Passport popcorn mix because how cool and unique is that, right? People love things like that. So photo ops is always a really, really good one. This is all about bees in Ralston. She just did a little bee themed photo op. I had so many people take pictures. So this is not only great for your marketing and promoting the passport program, but it's just fun and it just adds an extra detail of people going, oh my gosh, remember that one photo op place? And they're going to tell their friends and right, all that. This is another thing that happened last year. This is the Next Chapter Books and Gifts in Omaha. They She made passport bookmarks that she gave to passport participants who bought books, and I loved them. And I saw them, and I was like, "That is so cute." So again, something like that, free samples, prize drawings, all that stuff people love. So remember, even if passport travelers do not purchase something, please display excellent customer service at all times. You never know when they're going to come back. Um, Past passport stops have said that the increase of traffic and awareness outweigh the time spent stamping non-purchasers. So just keep that in mind. See the bigger picture. I know it can be frustrating. If you have gripes, please just let me know. Call me. I can talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you or anybody that has problems or questions. So here is a little bit of a breakdown of the amount of people that will purchase something at your destination. So if you own a sweet treats or a coffee destination or something where people can buy little things. So I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can hear my dog, but she's freaking out. Um, so if you own a coffee shop or like little knick-knacky things, or you have cookies or something that it's a few bucks people can spend here and there, a lot of people are going to buy something. Um, I like to think of it as when you go to a gas station and you use the bathroom, I always have to buy like a candy bar or a drink because I have, like, that's what my parents brought me up to do. I just feel so guilty. So that's kind of a thing that applies here. So a lot of people will want to buy something, especially if it's little. So even if you're a museum, you can offer, snacks, chocolate bars, drinks, water, anything just to get people to spend a couple dollars at your destination. That will help so much, even if it's little. That's just a fun thing. That's an easy thing to do to get people to spend a little bit more cash. Um, Again, restaurants, a good 70 to 90% of people will purchase something. A lot of people plan their passport trips around where the meals are. That's just the way it goes. I am pretty particular when I plan the passport program to make sure that there's restaurants kind of spaced out around each other, so that people will eat at those destinations. So if you're a museum or educational experience, uh, it's about 60 to 75%. Outdoor experience is a little bit more, 60 to 70. Wine and beer, um, about 50%, I would say, is a general rule. Um, Wine can be difficult because some people don't drink or some people have children. So just really keep that in mind. Again, if it becomes frustrating, let me know. Educational experiences or museums, about half to 80%. So yeah, so if you don't charge admission, it has been reported that you'll have significant impact in the gift stores. So that is also something to consider. If you don't have a little gift shop, get one. It's it doesn't have to be anything massive. It can be something on your counter. So mass market items are usually pretty good. Antique books, 20 to 30, and then a little bit of the arts, the more retail things with, if you're a big art gallery, you're not gonna have people drop a few $1,000s on a painting every day, but just think about the way that it makes. This is just a general outline. This is basically just for me to encourage you to get creative on some things that people can spend some money on. So as far as traffic, this is a good outline of what you kind of can expect over the summer. So use about 1,500 to 3,500 passport participants as a guideline. This definitely depends on where you're at in the state and what kind of destination you have. It is kind of a gimme that if you live in Omaha or if your stop is in Omaha, you're going to get a little bit more traffic than if you are in Scottsbluff. Not that I think one way or the other about that, but that's just kind of the nature of the program. But this is an overall graph of what it kind of looks like. So you're going to get a decent amount of people in May who come in. This is especially going to be people who just want to get their stamp. So know that in the first few weeks, a lot of people are just going to want to get their stamp and leave. I don't know why. I'll say it again. I don't think the prizes are anything to call home about, but people really like the competition of the game. Most people do it at the very beginning and then they're done. And then it'll kind of spike up in the summertime. So you're going to see a lot of people through the June and July time. Think kids are off school, people have vacations planned, that kind of stuff. And then August, it's going to drop down pretty significantly as kids are going back to school. And then back in September, people are going to come because they're going to be like, crap, we have 5 stamps left. We can do it. That kind of thing. So this is just a general overview of what the season is going to kind of look like. It could be very different for your location depending on what you offer, but that's just an overview. So again, I will ask for monthly updates from you about traffic estimates and the amount of people that maybe have made a purchase and approximately how much they spent. Just find the format that works best for you. It's really easy. I will be sending out the monthly digital stamp numbers so I can see all of the digital stamps for each month as well as collectively. So I will be sending those to you. And then there will be a final survey at the very end of the program to tell me about your experience. This includes sales estimates and then things that you may have benefited from. So just be aware of that, that I would love it if you could be keeping track of those things. It can be really hard, but just do the best you can. So the number one participant complaint we get is not being open the hours that you have submitted to me. So please, please do as best you can. I know things happen where you need to be closed or you need to close early. Maybe you have a doctor's appointment. Maybe, you know, something came up where you have to close a little bit early that day. Please just let me know. Post something on the front door of your business, especially if you are in a downtown area. Post a sign on the front door of your business saying, hey, we're out for today, but you can get a stamp nearby. This is a really great way to incorporate other people in your business as well. Maybe you have a friend next door who has a really great coffee shop. And so you give them the stamp for the weekend when you're out of town, because then that gives people going into their place too. So really just try to spread the love a little bit. But if you need to close, just let me know. Call me. We'll send an app notification. We'll put it on the website, all that good stuff. So again, your responsibility is to local tourism. We want to encourage it throughout the season. You are picked because you're a good tourism ambassador. You know, have brochures ready from other places in town. So if you maybe there's a museum nearby of your destination, have that brochure handy and go, hey, are you interested in visiting this museum? Have it on your front desk, wherever. Contact your CVB or chamber, let them know. Has coupon books, event flyers, other things that you can display from local shops and tourism destinations nearby. So encourage participants to submit their photos and stories on our Passport website. So a lot of people do this, but there's a section of the Passport website where you can submit stories, and then at the end of the program, those get taken into a pool, and then a few prizes get picked out of that pool. So definitely encourage people who have not heard about the program to participate. You're going to get a lot of people coming in who, you know, or maybe you're regulars, and they're going to see the passport board and go, what the heck is this? Talk to them about it. Let them know. Give them a booklet. Tell them about the prizes, that it's free, that it's fun, all that. Get to know passport stops near you. Just familiarize yourself with the program. Know the locations nearby. You'll get a lot of questions from people of like, so the thing nearby, what is that one, or how far away is that? Just familiarize yourself. Basically, read the booklet if you have the chance to. Like, I got a question, so I'll see what it is. Catherine, I'll email you directly about that, or maybe just ask me at the end, and I'll circle back to that. Um, so another thing is promotion. So I do a ton of TV, radio, and newspaper interviews throughout the whole season, and I will strongly encourage them to reach out to you as well. I also love to have you on. Um, Last year, we obviously were not able to do this because I didn't do any in-person interviews, but back in 2019, almost every interview I did at a TV station, I had one of the passport stops come on with me to tell them about their stop, because people don't really want to hear me talk. They want to hear stops discuss what they have going on. And that just makes it really fun. Um, Again, just really increasing awareness. I also do a ton of passport presentations to Rotary clubs, PEO groups, assisted living centers, schools, community centers, etc. So if there's any place in your town that you think would really want a passport presentation from me, just shoot me an email, let me know to reach out to them, or have them reach out to me. I'm happy to do them. I did 3 this week. So just let me know. That's always a really good way to get your community involved too, if no one around you has heard of the program. So I work with these media outlets a lot. So NTV and Kearney, 1011 here in Lincoln, Channel 8, KETV. I did an interview with the Rural Radio Network yesterday. I've done podcasts, all that good stuff. So it's fun to bring you guys on to talk about events that you might have coming up, or sales, or the Lincoln Children's Zoo. Um, John Tapo is one of our commissioners, and he always brings animals on the interviews. People, I mean, just fun things that you can bring on. I will reach out to you with those if that's something we can do this year. I'm not sure if when I'll go back and do in-person studio interviews, but hopefully this year. So social media. So our Visit Nebraska social media, we do love to share user-generated content. So this is something that was uploaded on our passport website as a story, and then we put it on our Facebook. So we love to do that. Our Facebook has about 50,000 followers. Our Instagram has about 35,000. And we really, really love to support them. And we want to support you guys too. So encourage people to post stories. Let us know if you have events coming up. We would love to post about it. Just be in contact. The more you reach out to me, the more I can help you, and the better it'll be. So these are some examples of posts that people did in the past about the passport. So, they're talking about when the passport was kicking off. They shared news stories from their local news. They said like, "Oh, look at us, we're on the passport, da 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 da," and then you get people asking, and it's just a really good way to promote the program. So we're nearing the end. So just just in case you're feeling antsy, so you did receive an email from our intern Emerson a while back about creating a listing on our Nebraska website, or Visit Nebraska website. She is the person who will answer all of your questions. However, we are getting a new intern in May because Emerson is graduating. So you will be getting, it should be the same email address, but it'll just be a new human. So just be aware of that. If you have not done that yet, please do that ASAP. It really, really helps us to be able to promote you guys more if you have a listing on our website. So just, yeah, please do that. It's just the easiest. We put you in things on our website. We have a ton of people who visit our website all the time. So please create a listing. If you have any questions about that, let me know, or email Emerson or Aaron. So first thing on the to-dos. So do not start stamping until May 1st. So that's a big one. You're going to get your booklets and your stamps here in the next week or so. So do not start stamping until the 1st of May. If you get someone coming in on April 30th, you just can't do it. You got to start on the 1st of May. Remember, no stamping for booklets for people who are not present. Determine how you want to collect participant information. Please check your email. Please, please, please. It's disheartening. So please just check it as much as you can. And then think about if you want to add any little extras, any photo ops, prize drawings, free samples, things like that. Do you want them to leave with anything? Do you want them to have a coupon that they can bring back? Do you want them to have brochures from local businesses? Meet with local businesses that might see an uptick and tell them about the program. So if there is a restaurant nearby tell them that you're on this program and go, hey, I'm on the passport, so more people might be coming through. Or if there's even a gas station, anything that you can do just to let people know what's happening. Because sometimes people get a little bit confused. So that is all I have, just about an hour on the dot. So hopefully I didn't talk too fast. Let me see. I didn't have any other questions in the chat. So this is again my email. And then this is my desk number. So once again, I will send this recording out to everybody once I get it all situated. Sometimes that takes some time. And I'll also send the copy of the PowerPoint too, so you can look through it as well if you have any specific questions or you couldn't remember things that I threw out at you. So I'm going to stop screen sharing. And does anybody have any questions? I'm happy to answer all of them. You can put them in the chat or you can unmute yourself and speak up. Nobody, no questions.
I have a question. I'm Cheryl, Cheryl Peer, and I'm along the scenic byway, the Lewis and Clark Scenic Byway, and there are restrictions for having signage within the boundary of the highway. So I can post. I just wondered if there is any help in terms of having highway officers or people that travel the byway to support what we're doing so that they won't tear down our signs. And I know I have to stay far away from the highway, and we'll try to be within the rules.
Are you talking about, are you going to do like a flag or something on
Yeah.
the side? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes,
cool.
That's what I'd like to do.
That would be awesome. Let me think. So you're Lewis and Clark Scenic Byway is what you said?
Yes.
Who is do you know the I guess, or just the overseer of that?
You know, I know it's somebody in control of the highways, but I'm not sure who I should contact to make sure I have permission.
Okay, if you want to shoot me an email about that, I will forward that onto our staff and see who may know more about that, about who I can contact and kind of make sure we can get that okayed. So yeah, it doesn't get torn down. That's a good point.
Madison, and I would have the same question for the same reasoning.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, just shoot me an email about it, and then I can help you and get that sorted. I think that's a really good point. I know that there can be some weird restrictions when it comes to those things. So. Anybody else got any questions? No question is too small or too large.
Hello. I have a quick question
Hi.
for you, Madison.
Yes.
So we're at Fontenelle Forest. Do you suggest that we have a stamp set up at their front desk as well? Or should it just be at the tree rush registration area?
So you can kind of do what works best. I know you guys are combined, but you're a different entity. So if you're getting a lot of people who come in and are confused about where they need to go, I know you have a bunch of signage. I've been there, but just it might be helpful for you to have a stamp at the front desk of Fontenelle Forest if you think that that's something that is going to be causing problems. You can just wait and kind of see, or you can try it out, see if it's needed. If they go, we stamped 2 people's booklets and we just, told them to go that way, then you can figure it out. So,
sure. Okay.
It's worth a shot trying for sure. But if it's just kind of what you need to do to be easy for you guys, or if, I don't know if you guys are open every day. I can't remember, but if you're open,
we will be in the summertime for sure.
Okay. Well, then there you go. Then that's easy then. But yeah, if you're going to be closed, on a Tuesday or something and Fontenelle Forest is open, you can do that as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
Yep. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Laura Steinman with Arbor Lodge. I'm the coordinator. I just want to say thank you for this great program and thank you for including us with our 150th Arbor Day. You just have some great categories this year and just wanted to say thanks.
Absolutely. You're so welcome. I'm very excited to have all of you a part of it. Anybody else got any fun questions? Feel free to email me afterwards. Give me a call if you have anything that you're like, I don't want to talk about this in front of everybody. There. My dog is barking at me. Anybody else? All right. Well, I am gonna